Hello everyone, it's Art and Monsters again, and today I'm gonna ramble about this sandwich. I have no script for this, so it will truly be a ramble, and kind of an emotional one. So, this is a ham sandwich. There's nothing really special about it. Ham, American cheese, mayo, whole grain bread. But I want to talk about it because this particular sandwich is sort of a symbol for so much progress I've been making lately, just generally as a person. And while I was making it, that fact just sort of hit me like a brick, and I was like, oh my gosh, I should share the significance of this one simple thing that is my dinner tonight. So this is a ham sandwich. And I guess where I should start is probably the struggles of mental illness. So, I've been ADHD my entire life. I have been depressed for the majority of my life since childhood. And those cause certain struggles with eating and motivation and cooking. You know, I have developed over at least the last 10 years being untreated and unmedicated and just basically going it alone. I have developed this relationship with food where it's like, I eat because I am aware I need to put something in my body. Not necessarily because I feel hungry or because I'm craving any sort of food. You know, I'm not eating for the flavor, I'm not eating for enjoyment, I'm eating because I know that I have to do this. And enjoyment plays a factor in it, but that's secondary. So like, over the past 10 years, and especially the past 2 years, after moving out of the bad situation that I was in, and living on my own with my roommates, you know, I got into this habit of shopping like, oh, I need to get bulk healthy snacks because snacking is stimulation for me for ADHD. I need to get non-perishable food so that it won't go bad if I lose all interest in cooking or moving for 2 weeks at a time. I need things that I can just grab and put in my mouth if I am existentially exhausted from spending all my time at a job that just drains the life out of me. So all of my focus around food has been on necessity, basically, and not around enjoyment. So it's been a while since I've bought myself anything like bread. Because I'm like, oh man, I don't trust myself to buy a loaf of bread because half of it's going to go moldy and I'm going to feel bad for wasting food, and the meat's probably going to spoil before I use most of it, and the cheese will get stale, and etc., etc. And just, it's a huge step for me to not only enjoy the thought of eating a sandwich specifically and being able to, make that choice, open up the fridge and say, what do I want to eat? I want a sandwich, and not just stand there for ages and ages. Like, does it even matter? It's all the same, really. That is such a huge step for me in terms of mental health. And not only that, but to be excited about the thought of making a sandwich and not just, begrudgingly dragging myself through it to get to the sandwich and being like, is the spoon's cost of making the food outweighed by the food itself? And, for the first time in a long time, that scale is starting to tip, where it's like, yeah, I genuinely want to enjoy this meal. I can make this meal for myself. It's not hard. So it has been a long time since I bought anything like a loaf of bread. I don't think I've actually properly had sandwich bread like available to me through groceries since moving out of my parents' house, honestly. Because back then it was like, my parents were buying for a family of 5 or 4 or 3 once my siblings moved out. So buying a loaf of bread was no big deal because somebody would eat it eventually. And if it's just me, I feel like there's no way I could go through an entire loaf of bread before it goes bad. But I've been working on that kind of thing. And here we are. And it's a big step financially for me too, and like learning how to exist with support and help around me, and basically learning how to live on nothing and the available resources through official means, which I'm getting used to. It's been a goal of mine for a while to think about signing up for Social Security and disability, for signing up for things like SNAP and other, assistance programs, basically, because I am mentally disabled, and it makes wanting to work a normal, structured job extremely difficult. Which is why I want to start doing professional art, and why I've been making forward progress on finally doing something that I actually want to do with my life. But it's been this big paralyzing hurdle for me to even think about branching out and asking for these forms of help. And I've finally gotten to the point where I have a therapist and a psychiatrist to support me, and friends who basically love me unconditionally and will pay me for art supplies. They're wonderful, and I'll talk about that in a bit. I have all this support in place now, and finding support and asking for support for myself has gotten so much easier now that I'm focusing more on myself and my mental health, and I'm not doing something that is draining literally all of my energy from me every day. So I signed up for SNAP benefits, and I got approved, and I am amazed at how easy that was. Like, I am very cynical about government support. I am very anti the way that government support is set up right now. I am fully expecting to go into this journey and have to fight the state of Massachusetts every step of the way. I'm fully expecting to, you know, have to be my own advocate, my own radical protester here. And SNAP benefits was like, oh, you need money for food? Yeah, here you go. You're unemployed. You count. Which gives me hope that the rest of the process might not be as difficult as I have made it out to be in my head. I'm still preparing for battle, you know, making sure that there's concrete proof that I am mentally disabled and I need help before I really go at it. But like, maybe, you know, my hope is that I'll get through this process and realize that I did more work than I needed to do to prepare. But it's a huge step that I'm even able to not be paralyzed and get out there and ask for this assistance. So yeah, this sandwich is progress. This sandwich is a celebration, and it's my dinner, and ordinarily a ham sandwich for dinner would seem kind of pathetic, but I really wanted a ham sandwich. Because of all the shit I had to go through to get this. So yeah, that's my ramble about a sandwich. And now I'm going to eat this because I'm really, really hungry. And also tell you guys about some updates in terms of my art and selling and stuff like that. So oh my hell. It has been so long since I've actually had just a ham sandwich that I made for myself. This is so good. I'm not crying, I swear. It's just pollen. It's really bad this year. Okay, so first of all, I want to give a huge shout out to my best friend. You are the real MVP. My best friend just took me to Blick in town and paid for a shit ton of art supplies for me so that I can start making more professional looking art, and it means so much to me in ways that nobody could ever understand. I love you from the bottom of my heart, and I would not be here without you. So thank you. Number 2, I have a website now. It's nothing fancy. It's a simple little website, just an online portfolio to show people when I'm like, hey, I'm an artist. Do you want some of my art? But like, it's a website. People can go there to contact me and stuff and find everything about me. I also just ordered stickers and business cards, and I've decided on kind of a logo with this white handprint, which is actually taken from one of my favorite pieces that I've ever done, Bottom of the Pit, which I think I showed you guys in one of my first 2 videos. and you'll recognize it because it still has the writing in it that I can't blur out somehow, which is fine. It looks great. But I'm getting stickers and business cards with that on there, and some QR codes. Let's see. I'm in the process right now of opening a Redbubble shop. Excuse me. So that people can get prints of my art and get my art stamped on random shit like travel mugs. So that'll be fun. And I plan to go around to a few shops and cafes and stuff locally and find out more about displaying my art in town. And I'm really hopeful about all of that for like the first time ever. I feel like I'm actually building something. I'm ordinarily weighted down so much by imposter syndrome and feeling like I'll never actually be professional at this stuff, whatever that means. But I'm actually doing it. I am actually doing this. Today I was daydreaming again about having a little retail shop space where I can just put up all my artwork in the window and use the shop space as a studio, and just like people can come in and look at my art and buy stuff. And that would be nice. That would be so nice. And I'm starting to plan that out in the long term, which is also a huge step for me because long-term plans are really hard to make when you have ADHD. So yeah, new website, new Redbubble, go check out my TikTok, Venmo me so that I can hopefully someday afford that tiny retail space of my dreams. And yeah, I will link you guys to my Redbubble shop once I am happy with the way it's set up and everything. Okay, I'm gonna go eat more of this sandwich. Thank you guys for listening to my ramble. Shout out again to my best friends. You guys are lovely and wonderful, and I'm so glad you exist. And someday I will have something to give you in return for all of your generosity and kindness, I hope, aside from just my presence on this earth. And for the rest of you, I hope life is good to you. And I hope that you do something nice for yourself soon. You deserve it. Self-care. Okay. Well, peace out, guys. This has been Art and Monsters. Bye-bye.